Now, I think the follow-up question to that is there a way to accomplish that without citizen action?
I mean, you mean just to refile a complaint? I mean, once again, if they have a fine that has been probated, you can bring that back by an officer coming to our office and saying, this property has got 14 junk cars around it again. You know, then you can bring it back in front of the judge saying, Judge, it's happened again, and they can impose that fine again, that fine that's been probated. However, say they got fined $10,000 and they paid that fine, then that's over with. You have to get a new complaint again on that person to refile it. It's just like every other crime. That once that one's done with, then you have to file a new one on them each time. You know, varying complaints that happen with it. It has to be filed with each time, either through a private citizen or through a law enforcement officer.
As a follow-up question, will you encourage officers to cite property owners?
They have to come, the way the process is they come to the office, the property owner gets sent a letter, and they have 10 days to clean it up. So they get that 10-day, I guess, grace period, where if they don't want to have a criminal action filed against them or a civil action filed against them, they can clean it up on their own at that point in time. I know a lot of people do this because sometimes they don't realize that the property has gotten that bad, and they go ahead and clean it up. Some don't. We have people in court that they don't clean it up. But once again, it's something that, you know, we have to go through the process of sending them that letter. They'll clean it up, and that's when the criminal charge is filed. Or, once again, the county can clean it up. But that would be a civil action to try to recoup our costs for whoever we paid to clean it up. Which I'm guessing if the person wasn't forward enough thinking to clean up their own property, they're not going to have enough money to pay whoever we paid to clean it up. And getting a judgment against them is just about useless, quite frankly.
This is a question for any or all. Water for all citizens that do not already have water is an issue of the campaign. How will you be able to convince a public utility that is not able to get grants to actively pursue new installations in sparsely populated areas when it is not profitable to that company? Who wants to jump on?
A lot of times it's not populated because there's no water there. So one way to get water there is want people to want to come to buy the populated area.
We're going to have to work with the surrounding counties to enter into our county and run their water lines on through. Kentucky American's not going to go back these back roads. It's a proven fact. Pigsmill came over. We need to get with Scott County. I think Carolyn's working with Williamstown or Brother Penn. And that's what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to talk to the surrounding counties and get them to come on.
You should bring this question up. I've been dealing with it all week. Kentucky American is a private corporation, and as a result, I was informed shortly after coming in that I would not be eligible for KIA grants. We are still eligible for line item in the budget. Representative Adams, I believe, has left, but he put in $800,000 for line items in the budget. This is a very difficult situation right now for Owen County. Jeff Davis also was putting in line items at the federal level that we can receive. She is correct in saying on these outlying areas we can do this, but there are a tremendous number of people, some of which live about a fourth to a half a mile from Owington, that do not have water. This is becoming more and more of a problem across our county. Kentucky American has somewhat agreed to work with us. But then they say because of restrictions by the Public Service Commission, they are restricted as to how much they can expend per resident for water. So therefore, they have petitioned the legislature to allow private companies to be eligible for KIA grants and other types of grants. According to our state law, we are not eligible for it because our water company is private.
There have been some water lines run, and I have talked to people, and they don't have the money to tap on to those water lines. That seems to be a great problem. The water's right there in their front yard, but they don't have the money to tap onto it. So that becomes a problem also for the people out in the areas.
Okay. The next, sorry.
You talk about water, a lot of these private water companies too, like American Water Company, they want 10 customers per mile, so we pay them to put in. But, you know, we just, like Carolyn and Teresa, now they're staying on top of this, know that everybody wants to get city water. When I was here before, Tri-Village, we won water from Monterey to Hester, and then I helped them get a grant to get it from Watersville to Grants. And I think this time it's in the works, is that they're getting ready to put water back around the bottom road, which is a dead-end road. My understanding, they're getting ready to do that in a short time. But we're just going to work with these water companies to work with the court, try to get water to everybody in the county that doesn't have it.
I also believe it is a big problem not having water. Several people in our district don't have water, and that was one of their main concerns. I believe where you need to start with the problem is you need to define who has it, who doesn't. You know, get a true, accurate map, who has water, who doesn't have water. Start defining out how much it's going to take to get water down the road. Then you look at your revenue income as far as grants to the Carrollton utilities, or I think Peak Mill, I believe it grants to them. But more often in my district, it would be Carrollton utilities. Also, then I heard Carolyn mention in a court meeting several months ago about making this line item. If we're that committed to getting people water, we need to start tweaking the budget and trying to find, even if it's $10,000 a year, you can start doing what you can with what you got. But I believe you do need to make a plan to find out who has water and who needs it, and start planning to get that.
The next question is for the judge executive candidates. Have we made great progress with emergency medical services this year? And what are your goals for the future?
One of the things that I'm most proud of is the fact that we are able to have paramedics on board our ambulance services. Also, our ability to collect has increased as a result of that, because our major portion of our runs are either Medicare or Medicaid. And because there's a paramedic on board, we are getting a larger sum of money for making those runs. Our ambulance department is facing a period that has never been like this in the history of Owen County. It's amazing what people will call an ambulance for. Sometimes it may be 15, 20 miles away from the center of Owenston. But I'm very proud of the fact that we are, last month when we averaged up our expenses against our income, we were within $30,000 of breaking even. And we're hoping this month when we end that we will come close to breaking even. And I think good bookkeeping practices have really made a big difference here.
You talk about the ambulance service. I can remember back when I first went in office, we were contracting for $30,000 a year. And I think what the cost is on the ambulance service. Of course, it's working with our supervisors.